Hello, dear friends. Thank you so very much for taking time from your busy schedules to be here with us talking about our hearts and talking about love and self-love. And we apologize that we had to reschedule. We were originally scheduled to be here with you on Monday, but we had a storm and a few of us couldn't actually get out of our own neighborhoods. So that is why we had to postpone it. But hopefully you're going to be able to join here today. And for those of you that will not be able to join, at least you will have the recording. That way you can watch it at your leisure. Now, just to recap here, what are we going to be talking about? Today is almost towards the end of February, right? And it's the month of love. A lot of people correlate this month with how are we feeling with the relationships, partnerships, but very few people actually connect that with self-love. And that is one of the things that I definitely want to address, that just to make sure that we are giving ourselves as much love as we're giving others, because that is as important as to everything that we do for everyone around us every day. Now, I'm here today with Sean Johnson. He is the head and director of our AYC, as we call it, is the Asheville Yoga Center. Sean, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Sandy. Hey everyone. Really grateful to be here. I always love my conversations with Sandy. And I have spent many years teaching and practicing a form of yoga called Bhakti yoga, which Bhakti, one of the translations of the word Bhakti is love, heart and devotion and belonging and faith. And so I spend a lot of time practicing this, and reflecting, on what it means to really bring love into action. And that really starts with sort of the integrity of our relationship with ourselves. And, if that integrity isn't there, then sometimes the love that we can share with others is limited, in a sense. It doesn't have that foundation, that sense of connection to core. Yeah. So I'm really grateful to have a conversation about that today. I think it's something that we can always use reminders, about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And especially right now, with so much going on around the world, it's just that reminder that whenever we go in here, we just find the truth. And the truth is just love all the way around. No matter what the noise may be out there, it's just that in there, right? All right, and I am Sandy, your host here every month that we host these beautiful webinars to bring all of you together. Now, I am going to ask you to turn your cameras on. We would love to see your beautiful faces, and I always say this, it doesn't matter where you are. You can be at work, you can be at home, it doesn't matter, in the car. We just love seeing you. And if you wouldn't mind, also type there in the chat, where are you dialing from? I actually see, I was telling Sean, I see one of my best friends is here. So actually 2 of them. Thank you so much. I see Heru and Laura and Judith. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for turning your cameras on, y'all.
Yes, we love this.
It helps us to feel you.
Exactly. And this is exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be feeling each other. We're going to be feeling the love. We're going to be feeling the energy. Thank you so much, Mark, Catherine, Judith. Thank you. All right, Denmark, Judith. Wow, woohoo, thank you. From Columbus, Ohio, Catherine, thank you so much for joining. I know we have Laura from Arlington, Virginia, and Heru from Boca Raton, Florida. So thank you all for joining. All right, we're going to get started, and we are going to start with a quick meditation. And the purpose of that is going to be to allow our day just to sink into our heart. Oftentimes we get our day going, we get up, we brush our teeth, we feed the baby or the dog or whatever that may be. We're always taking care of everything and everyone. But do we remember to take pauses, especially early in the morning before our day gets started, and also all throughout the day when we have a transition from one conference call to another, when we're getting in the car, we're about to eat? Those are moments of self-love. love and self-love does not have to be taking the time to go to a retreat and making an expensive investment where you're going for a full week. You can show those signs of self-love to yourself every single day with just little details. So let's go ahead and take a seat. Most of you are already sitting down. So for those of you that are already sitting, if you wouldn't mind, just take your hands and bring them to your heart center. Just put them on top of your heart and just so gently close your eyes. See if you can connect with your breath. Bring the attention and the intention to our breath. And just so slowly, we begin to connect with our body and disconnect from everything else around us, whether it's work, conference calls, co-workers, family. Just bring that attention to the breath. Now begin to feel the inhalation and the exhalation. And just so gently begin to notice the expansion and so the contraction. It's all part of our universe. All it takes is for us to bring our awareness to it. And as we're taking this very moment to connect, I would like to invite you to connect to your heart center. Bring that awareness to the palpitation of your heart. See if you can feel it. If it's palpitating fast, see if you can slow down your breath in a gentle way just to calm down your nervous system. If it's palpitating just at a regular rhythm, how about we say, thank you, heart. Thank you for beating. Thank you for reminding me that I'm alive. Thank you for being such an important instrument in the music of life. And as we feel and we connect with our heart, when we inhale, I would like to invite you to inhale love and exhale resentment. Inhale compassion and exhale judgment. Inhale self-love, self-care. Exhale doubt. And just so gently, we begin to calm down that breath again. We feel our hearts again. We feel the gratitude for taking this break from our busy day to connect with our minds, our bodies, and our soul. And just with a blink of an eye, I would like to invite you to come back just so gently by opening your eyes. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for taking this time. Now, these are the beautiful moments that we all take for granted, that we all sometimes don't even realize that they exist, but they're right there at our disposal. That is all it takes, just that moment. And you can always say to someone, whether it's a coworker, a loved one, I need 5 minutes. I just need 5 minutes. That's all you need to reconnect. So I would like for all of you to take this practice to connect with your heart from this point forward and do it as often as you may need to. And with that, we're going to get this conversation started because it's going to be a juicy one. And the reason for that is because I was sharing with Sean that I feel that there is a little bit of a misperception and misconception when it comes to what love is. And not only what love is, what self-love is. So let's start there. Sean, what is love for you? What does love mean to you?
Oh, God, I mean, it's just this sense of being abundantly held and overflowing, in my heart. Presence has a lot to do with it. Gratitude, a sense of appreciation, and that unconditional. There's an expression, unconditional love. That seems to be like innate to like this true love. Is this? There's no conditions upon it. It's something that is ever available, but oftentimes our mind cuts us off, from it. I'll speak for myself. My mind cuts me off from it at times. So it's that deep sense of gratitude and value and overflowing, abundance of just being in our heart, and feeling deeply and appreciating, our sense of aliveness. Yeah.
Beautiful. And he used a key word, being in our hearts. And we feel it when we disconnect from our hearts. We feel disjointed. We feel maybe like our busy mind is just going everywhere. But the moment that we connect with our heart, we feel this sense of openness, expansion, gratitude, all those beautiful words that you said. And I would like to ask our audience here today, does anyone want to share with us, what does love mean to you? Let's see, do we have any takers? Let's not be shy. Let's just go ahead and share. Let's share the love. Do we have any takers? No? Okay.
You could write it in the chat too.
You can write it in the chat if you're feeling shy.
A few words.
Yes. So I'll go ahead and share. For me, love, it really means expansion. Because when I think about love, I think I had different points in time in my life where love meant something different. Yeah. As I personally evolved as a human being, my spiritual experiences, they changed. But I would say right now, what it feels like is just pure potentiality. Right now, it feels like this exponential vastness of unlimitedness. Like there is no limit to it. And I'll give you a few examples. Like if you asked me a few years ago, for me, love was being in a relationship and what that love relationship meant. And if the relationship didn't work, or I ended up heartbroken or anything, that broke me as an individual. And as I've come to evolve and understand more about love, I understand that there isn't really a point in time where you're broken. You may feel the pain, which you are allowed to feel, and you should feel. You should not neglect it. But the breakups and the ups and the downs are all part of love. It doesn't mean that they're not. So how do we embrace those challenges? How do we embrace those breakups? How do we embrace? So that is what now love means to me, is the encompassing of all of it. the good, the bad, and the ugly, the unexpected. And love could be me walking down the street and all of a sudden I feel the air on my face, and that feels like love. Because the air is loving me and I'm loving the air. If I'm walking bare feet and I can feel the grass and the land and Pachamama, Madre Tierra, and I get goosebumps, that is true love. Because we're feeling the love from the biggest mother that there could ever be. So can we all begin to learn and understand what love is and take it way beyond of being a subject or an object or attachment to someone or something? And that is why I told Sean earlier today, I said, I'm hoping that this conversation turn out into be a little bit controversial, because I want to dismantle what our beliefs are about love. And I don't think we go to school to learn any of this. There is no school to teach us what love is. We just experience it through those ups and downs. So can you tell us, Sean, what have been some of those ups and downs that have taught you how to perhaps be more resilient or more accepting of love for what it is and not for what we want it to be?
Thanks for that question, Sandy.
Yeah.
I love everything that you shared. I would say that like one of my first big kind of spiritual initiations was falling in love for the first time, you know, with a young woman, and I was a young man.
Yeah.
The transformation, you know, that experience, like I went on dates and I, you know, like, but I'm talking about like the head over heels, you know.
I think we all felt that at some point in time, right?
That was like just so eye-opening, and I was in that relationship for a few months, and then we were long distance for a period of time, and I was really in that long distance relationship. This question came up: is what I feel when I'm with this person, does it just exist when we're together, you know, in person, or is it something that is catalyzed from inside of me when we're together, but that is still inside of me when we're apart? I was very curious, like, about whether that was true or not, and I wanted to really experiment, you know, with that. And so I started really wanting to make lots of small and large decisions based upon that feeling of love and connection that I felt and passion that I felt. And it completely reoriented and reprioritized my life. At the time before I was in love, I was very much on a sort of achievement-oriented like path, and doing things more for their external sort of status value. And this experience of being in love just completely turned my world upside down. And I wanted to really live from that love and passion and make choices and decisions, you know, that were born from that. So I had this really prestigious internship that I turned down, and I went to work at a daycare center and played with children every day as a kind of antidote to living in what was a pretty harsh place at the time. I was, before that, following the track that the college I was at told me that I needed to take these classes. I completely ignored them.
You follow your heart.
I followed my heart.
There you go.
And I selected all these classes that were really like just really rung, you know, resonated with my heart. I ended up stopping going to school for a while and went on a long distance journey with my girlfriend at the time, and like it was love that took me off of this track, you know, that was not my path. It was a path that I thought someone else was saying, you know, that I should follow. And eventually, you know, several years later, that relationship ended, you know, very painfully, and I was left with the same question, like, now that that relationship isn't, you know, in the present, is that love that I felt inside of that relationship inside of me, or is it broken? Am I broken? You know, and I wanted to continue to live with this sense of how can I live with a sense of passion and love, and see if that I can repair, you know, that from the inside out, you know. And I would say that like that has been really the birth of a whole nother spiritual journey that's woven in yoga, chanting, mantra, music, art, and poetry, and so much more, to find these vehicles to really express my heart and to have a love affair with life. Not just a person, but to have a kind of relationship with the experience of being alive that is ever evolving, you know, and ever enriching as well. And it has its ups and downs. It's not like, you know, unicorns and bubbles and butterflies, you know, all the time. There's grief in that as well, because part of the human experience is at times feeling disconnected and losing things that we love, that awaken our heart, and then finding a way back to them again in some way.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So beautifully said. So beautiful. Let's see. Being seen or seeing someone with true connection, resting on emptiness, longing and joy, compassion, generosity, kindness, acceptance, forgiveness, grace. Thank you for sharing. And I love everything that you just said, Sean, because is that realization, and it happened at a different time for everyone, but when you begin to realize love is more than just the love of towards a person, is way more than just having the existence of the person, so it's dependent on my happiness and my well-being. So that is the invitation today. So if you have anything that you can use to write down, I would like to invite you to just write down what are the things that you love in life in general. It could have been experiences, people, and just go ahead and write it down, type it, because these are the things that are going to allow you to see and to experience, okay, what is the type of relationship that I have with my kids? What is the love that I feel for my kids? And then even after this webinar, like keep thinking through it, keep digesting, allow your body to feel it. Digest what the feeling feels like towards one person, towards one scenario, towards a moment in time, or even a location. It could be a country. We were talking about a country as well. So just write it down and see, how do you feel differently, which is completely fine, but are you finding that vastness of what love truly is? Way beyond that subject referral that brings that love back to you, and you're feeling it regardless of the circumstances. So I'll give you a couple of seconds just to write it down. I see some of you taking the time, which is so beautiful, to write it down. Does anyone feel like sharing? No, I see Laura saying no. Sounds good. Well, I'll ask a different question. Did anybody write down yourself in that list? Heru did. Okay. Did anybody else write down yourself? No. Yeah? Okay, Catherine, good. All right. Now, here's where we're going now with this. From having universal love, right? Unconditional love towards everything, which I'm hoping that now you're beginning to grasp, that it should be way beyond of that moment, that person, that anything. Are you putting yourself in the center of this as well? And the reason I'm asking is because oftentimes we create a list of the things that we love, but we never put in that list ourselves. So we tend to neglect ourselves as the first person. I want you to imagine you were a soul somewhere in the universe before you came into this beautiful land called Mother Earth. And then you landed in this amazing, beautiful body, right? Your job was to take care of that body and to love that soul and to be grateful for the opportunities in the life that you're living and to see life through the eyes of love. Have we been doing that, or are we focused on everything else around us? That is why it's so important to put yourself on that list. Are you capable? Yes, you are. But are you doing it of treating yourself the way that you treat others? So I'll start asking that question towards you. Are you, Sean Johnson, you had this beautiful opportunity, your soul landed on planet Earth, you know, are you taking the time to take care of this beautiful body and beautiful opportunity called life?
I think sometimes I do it better than others, you know, for sure.
Okay.
And something that I find, you know, I think part of the human experience is like forgetting things that are true and then remembering, you know, them again. And one of the things that I find myself forgetting and remembering is that the care and the love that I offer myself, not only is it good, you know, for me, but it actually serves those that I love. You know, it probably maybe better than anything I could do for them, you know, in that sense. And I often forget that, you know, I sometimes burn the candle, you know, at both ends.
Which, by the way, I think we all do. So that remembering is exactly what you're doing right here, right now in this webinar, is just bringing that remembrance just to take care of yourself. Keep going.
Yeah. That sense of wanting to serve, you know, and help, you know, and support and please, you know, others, you know, sometimes takes precedent, you know, over my own self-care. Yeah. And then I remember, no, actually, you know, if you don't take better care of yourself, you're going to get sick, you know, and you're actually going to be spinning your wheels and not actually being able to support, you know, those that you love and the ways that you're making an impact, you know, in the world. So that is something that, you know, conversations like this, the practices that we love to share, you know, with people, help to remind me. They're like a touchstone. You know, it helps me to remember, you know, that over and over and over again. And so I'm really grateful, you know, to be reminded, you know, again. And I think that it's just so important to have like a practice or a community or a teacher or a friend, you know, that can be, in some sense, accountability partners, you know, and folks that, in the Celtic spiritual tradition, they would be called an anamkara, a soul friend, like someone that can remind you to love yourself, you know, and I think that's a lot of what we do every day here, you know, at Ayurveda Prana as well, is to do that for each other and then do that for, you know, our community as well.
Yeah.
How about you, Sandy?
Well, everything you said resonated because it's so often that we just go with the day-to-day life and we just get busy. And the reality is life gets on the way. But life is what we're here for, right? So it's that reminder. And sometimes it's a simple conversation with a friend, or it could be a phone call. It could be that you are driving and you see someone or something and it reminds you, hey, I got to stop and smell the roses, right? I remember, and I'll tell you this quick story because it's so true. Our lives just get so deep and into the day-to-day life. When my mother was suffering from cancer, I remember every single day that I was driving from home to work, I would just drive crying and crying and crying, and it was just that desperate sorrow that I was feeling. But at one point in time, what reminded me was to bring myself back, it was a bunch of birds flying by. And when I saw them, I literally pulled on the side of the road, and I said, it was for me like stopping and smelling the roses, and I actually started calling it the emergency brake, because I used to drive a stick shift. So what happened to me was I just pulled the emergency brake. And to me, in a moment of desperation, in isolation and pain and suffering, I said, I am going through this, I'm feeling it, but I also need to put the emergency brake here and now for me to realize that there is life and that death doesn't have to be the end. And I started exploring what it means to be alive after death, you know, after the body leaves and the soul continues to be alive. And all of a sudden, I started to see things from a different lens. So yes, life happens, life gets on the way, and we all get busy and we all forget. But that is what these webinars and calls and friends and family and loved ones and practices are for, so that we can use them to bring us back home. And where is home? Right here. And you can feel it sitting right there where you are. It just takes a second for you to pause. Just take that pause. It's worth more than $1 million, more than anything anybody could ever give you. Just take that pause for yourself. The other thing that I wanted to say is, oftentimes we associate having to take that pause or wanting to do something for ourselves as being selfish. And we judge ourselves. We are our worst judge. I mean, has that happened to you? Like you want to do something and all of a sudden you're like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
that would not be nice for my family. Like, do you have some examples that you can share?
Yeah. There's times where I feel like I really respond very strongly to body work, you know, and therapeutic massages, and there's times when I will skip it because I just want to be there for my family, or there's like financially we're balancing things, and I would say that there's been, you know, moments where when I remember what we were talking about earlier, that really is something that for me makes a huge difference in how I feel, and it's an act of self-care, you know, and self-love that I'll go ahead, you know, and give myself that. And it, you know, in some ways I would call it an indulgement, but maybe that's a part of the consciousness that's sort of self, you know, I'm being selfish, so I'm indulging in this thing rather than it being something that, you know, is really essential, you know, and nourishing, you know, and nurturing. So that's a place where I would say I struggle, you know, sometimes, is avoiding things that I know are good, you know, for me, because I'll make excuses that, oh, that's selfish, or that's, you know, that's not going to support. But really, like we talked about before, it does.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here is the part of this conversation where I'm going to ask you, what are those things in your life that allow you to connect back to your heart center, that make you feel alive, that make you feel healthy, and that health and wellness in your life? What are those things? Write it down. Take a few minutes. It could be going for a walk. You know, it could be listening to music or singing, right? It could be writing, poetry, inspiration,
Nature.
channeling. Yeah. If you feel like sharing on the chat, feel free to share. If anyone wants to unmute and share with us. Let me see. I cannot read it, Heru. Talk to Sandy. Ah, that's sweet. All right. All those things that replenish you. Because what happens is, as we go through life and we don't pause and we don't exhibit self-care and self-love, we begin to feel depleted. The same way that I say that we feel expansion and love is expansion, and we actually feel it in our chest, in our physical body. When we talk about Ayurveda, the heart center in this whole chest area is actually the seat of our soul, is the place where we ended up feeling it in the physical body from an Ayurvedic perspective. So if at any point in time in our lives we're feeling dull, we're feeling disconnected, it's because we're not connected to our heart center and we're not grounded into our root chakra. So at that point in time, the invitation is to look at this list that you just created and look at what are those things that bring me back to life, that make me feel happiness, joy, fulfillment without having to invest a ton of money, but it's just there, naturally there. And then all of a sudden you feel this expansion and the openness, like maybe you even walk with your shoulders a little bit more open. The moment that you feel the contraction, you know it because your body reflects that. And your body somatizes a lot of the thoughts, feelings, emotions, and sensations that we feel. And we feel that contraction. And what does that look like? We look angry. We look maybe just a little bit more quiet. We don't want to open up our heart. Even if someone is close by that may be our loved one, we're feeling like there is a wall. But we're here to turn those walls down. And I'll give you one example. Just recently, when I was coming back from Peru, I stopped in Florida and I saw one of my friends. And she was telling me they have this church where the priest in the church, very loved, very admired, happened to get hit by a car and passed. So obviously it was a huge impact to the entire community. His wife ended up meeting the person that hit him and took his life. And it was her desire to go meet that person and give it a hug and forgive that person. I'm getting goosebumps all over my body. Can we get to the point that we love at that level, where we show forgiveness for even the people that hurt us without even knowing that they're hurting us because they're not doing it intentionally? Can we feel love not only for that which we think deserves our love, but can we love beyond that? That is true love. So when you're looking at your list, I don't want you just to look for those things that you think are either material or are people that you love. But can you put in there people that perhaps you had a sour moment with and say, I love you. I forgive you. And can you even say, I forgive myself for not loving you unconditionally? That is what I'm talking about when I talk about true love. That is what I'm talking about when I talk about unconditional love. And that love that you feel within you and that you reflect towards the universe and everyone else comes from one place, which is you. Comes from your heart. And that heart is in unity with everything and everyone else. So today I want you to feel empowered to truly feel what love is and to recognize what love no longer is, right? Now, Sean is here for many reasons. One is he's a really dear, loving friend that I adore, but he also plays Kirtan, and he have taught me through music how to love music and feel music at a point where your heart opens through music, through Kirtan. So, is this the moment where we can play
Sure.
maybe a Kirtan to continue to open these beautiful hearts they're here making the time to be with us? Let's go ahead and do it.
Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to scoot this harmonium over here.
Do you want to explain to everyone a little bit about what Kirtan is and what it does? Because sometimes people have not experienced it.
Yes. So, singing is a practice you can find in every culture, in every spiritual tradition. that takes people into their hearts. And it is particularly powerful practice in the yoga traditions, particularly Bhakti yoga, which I mentioned earlier. And on a physiological level, it's also incredibly beneficial. When we sing for just a few minutes, it places our nervous system into a parasympathetic state, which is the optimal, most relaxed, functional state for our nervous system to be in. And it's something that sadly, we have someone here from Denmark, and we have folks from other countries, and maybe it's different, culturally, but in American society, people don't sing very much. There's just a few places like Sunday mornings in church, like people who participate in that. But generally, there's a real inhibition and a real shyness and a judgment about singing. There are other cultures in the world where that resistance isn't there, and everybody sings. And it's a beautiful form of self-love and self-care. And it's been my go-to practice for remembering who I am, remembering what's important, and also processing emotions. I have really moved a lot of grief and sadness and anger just through singing alone. There are these powerful sounds called mantras, and they are these energetic-based sounds that help to really change our consciousness and to shift the way that we feel. There are also wonderful songs that many cultures have that just have lyrics in the native tongue of that culture that can do the same thing. So I thought it would be fun to share a song that I think most of you probably have heard that usually makes us feel good. Yeah. And then I want to share a mantra that is a beautiful one that is very connected to our theme today, and it's Aham Prema, which translates as I am love. So let's say it a few times together. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Beautiful. And we'll weave that into this little ditty. I invite you to close your eyes. Welcome some deep, grateful breaths. Draw your awareness into the center of your chest and focus your breath there. Imagining like a little spark of light in your heart that we can kindle today through each other's company and through the singing that we're about to do. And as we sing, I invite you to visualize that light growing brighter, warmer, radiant. You're welcome to sing along with me. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Sing it with us, y'all. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Aham Prema, 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 Aham Prema. One more time. Aham Prema, 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 Aham Prema. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine. We sing Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. It means peace, peace, peace. Let's sing it together. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om
So many precious moments in our lives. So many moments like this where we get together in communion, just a little break in our day to sing so beautifully, to connect with our hearts. I don't know about you, but every single time I sing with Sean, I just get teary eyes. It's like, he really, truly just opens my heart in such a beautiful way. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you,
I
Sandy.
really love you and I
love you.
appreciate you. And, you know, if we can all just take a few moments in our life to connect to something so beautifully, you know, it's empowering, it's elevating, is pure love. Pure love.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you. Well, as we're getting here towards the end of our call today, you took notes of what are those things that enlighten your heart? What are those people, those places, those, whatever that may be? Just make sure that you connect back to that. Make sure that you find that joy, you find that little light of yours that is just there, waiting for you to bring your attention to it. Just looking for you to bring your awareness to it. And some of those things include taking care of ourselves. And oftentimes we do think like our cup needs to be full in order to be able to give to others. But Dr. Ladd actually teaches us quite the opposite. We gotta empty the vessel. We gotta empty all preconceived conditions so that we can fill in again with more light and more love. Because if our cup is always full, there is nothing new to bring into that cup. So the practice, the invitation is to empty our cup and to be that child, like when you went to that kindergarten and were just becoming a child again, remembering again, connecting again. And the only way that we can do that is by emptying that cup. Because if we're full, we will reach moments of overwhelm, stress, anxiety. We gotta take the time for self-love and self-care. Some of those things may be Ayurveda, that may be your path. It may be yoga, that may be your path. It may be Bhakti or chanting, Kirtan, that may be your path. It may be just taking time away from your daily life every once in a while to do a retreat. Come to Panchakarma, feel free. You can go to any other retreat, but take the time to reconnect with that beautiful heart of yours. Now, for all of you that are interested on learning more about our Panchakarma retreat, if you are being called, if you're feeling the desire, I'm sorry, that went in. If you're feeling the desire to disconnect from your day-to-day life and actually reconnect, doing it through a Panchakarma retreat is a beautiful experience because you're cleansing the vessel. When our entire system is congested, meaning toxins that are accumulating in our body, toxins that are accumulating in our minds, in our souls, through experiences, through people, through noise, then we're not able to truly connect to our soul. So the invitation here is also for you to think about that moment in time that you can take to purely cleanse the vessel, which is this body that is not going to be here forever. And only is that we take care of it. Only is that we pay attention to the signs that are telling us, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, whether my skin is dry, I'm losing hair. All those things are your body talking to you. So the same way that I was telling you, listen to your heart, listen to your body. And in Ayurveda, we look at the human experience in a holistic way, the connection of the mind, the body, and the soul. So if you're feeling called to do a Panchakarma retreat, we share there a QR code. Feel free to scan that. And through that, you're going to get to have a conversation with one of our Ayurvedic practitioners and Ayurvedic ambassadors to welcome you to our Soho Mountain Healing Resort here in Asheville, North Carolina. But other than that, thank you so much for attending the webinar today. Thank you for opening your hearts, and thank you for taking the time of your busy day to connect with yourself. We love you all.
Thank you, friends.
And we'll see you again next month. Namaste.
Recording stopped.